Hello, this is Eyewitness Report on Channels Television. I am Chris Elems, your host. Today, some residents of Otun Araromi in the Sherry area of Lagos again are at daggers drawn with their neighbors in Magodo GRA. Flood erosion wreak havoc in Anambra communities. An environment expert wants more attention paid our surroundings. Join us for these and more on Eyewitness Reports. In 2017, we got an invite to a small community in the Sherry area of Lagos where residents felt they were being oppressed by their neighbors in Magodo GRA. Well, years down the line, the case resurfaces. The people in the community feel they are being ignored and unfairly dealt with. They voice their pains and want the government to ensure their neighbors comply with the directive to set up embankments behind their property. The Ogun River rises as rainfall increases. Communities along its bank are not at ease based on past experiences with flood. One of such community is Otun Araromi in the Sherry area of Lagos State, a neighborhood of Magodo GRA. Their concern this time around does not stem from the water from Ogun River, but the one from their neighbors meant to be channeled to the river but left halfway. This is worsened by the topography of the area, which puts the residents at the mercy of their neighbors. According to one of them, this has caused them untold hardship.
Whenever it rains, I feel sad because I'm not at peace when rain starts like this. You can see behind me, very big pipe there. When rain starts, the rate of our water gushes out there is alarming. I think you can see my building, this is my building here. If you can see left and right, if not that I'm really serious about it, it could have been washed out by the gully. So all these people, they challenge their gutter or water to this area. So you can see all this area being washed away by water. So if government can help us to talk to them so that can rectify it. If not so, because of the effort of the community, that can be another thing entirely. We have been inviting them to come and see what is going on, but no response. That if engineers can come with them, it can tell them how they can charge the water to the lagoon.
In the last 5 years, 9 members of 2 families have lost their lives as a result of landslide and subsequent building collapse. The people are afraid that this could continue.
2015, a big queue up there fell and damaged this man's house, which is called Ekoseye, and killed 4 children. After that, the government asked the estate people to do their embankment. They didn't. Now, another one recently, a house again at that same up fair broke into the next house, killed 4 children. Then, because they refused to do their embankment, now so many of them are doing their embankment now. They are channeling water to us. They will do their embankment, they will channel their water to our road. Now we have no roads. There's no road to pass. We are supposed to channel it to the river. They will channel it from up to our walking road. They will stop there. Please, we are begging the government. They should come into this. Come and look into it. Whether they are right, it's right thing for them to do or not.
He said for my wife, I know.
But the pillow what happened? From where?
Okay, look at what I'm doing there.
For some reasons, we couldn't tell why some members of the community didn't buy into our presence here. One of them decides to harass us.
This community, we don't go for government. Government don't leave us here. Then these people where they up, they don't say make them go and do embankment. So we not get any problem with the people where they up again. Now let this place, this one they happen.
However, Mr. Fred Igbenson one of those largely displeased by the situation of things in the community, draws our attention to some project already being done by the Magodo residents, which he claims are being executed haphazardly.
They came in with caterpillar, damaged my personal property, damaged the cover that the community did. I invited so many of them, pleaded with so many of them. I called a lawyer that lives up there to help us to see what they would do. Following that, the government directive is that they must do the embankment and make sure they channel the water to where the water is supposed to go. But they do this while they're doing this embankment, they're channeling this water to people's properties. It has damaged so many people's properties. Once it rains, women and children cannot go out. The force of this erosion has carried our security man called Omo Niger before. It was because of covert collection that stopped the rain, the erosion from taking him into the river. Now, we've not been able to get video of the effect of the erosion. But once it rains, no woman, no child will go out. Otherwise, they will get lost in the erosion. So, because of the force of the water they've channeled, the community has spent over 5.5 million that we have record of on doing the culvert, doing the first gutter when erosion wanted to cut the road, and channeling this as far as we can get it now to the river. It's not finished. And the one here now at the end of this zone, they channeled another serious erosion into it. We have asked them to do a gutter from where they channeled it into another gutter and channel the gutter into the sea. That's all we are asking. But nobody wants to listen to us. We are pleading to the federal government, Ikosofe local government. We are pleading to Lagos State, especially Minister of Housing and Works, to come and assist us. We are people. We are not slaves in this country.
A resident of Magodo GRA, Chris Elujulo, soon joins us to state his side of the story.
I'm not building it.
At the time of our visit, he was carrying out an embankment project on his property, which he claims should have started since March, but delayed due to the COVID lockdown. He first gives clarity to the bone of contention.
The problem of this place started long ago. This land you are looking at from the top of the hill there, slope from that place towards the river. But they started excavating it up to where you are looking at it today. They now build on it. It didn't stop there. Initially, you can't find any house at the back of the gorge before. But they started selling the place also, and they started building on it. So when it continued, something horrible happened some 6 years ago. One of the houses that is standing, because they've excavated the root, the fence collapsed and killed 5 people. When that happened, we were summoned to House of Assembly. I mean, the people upstairs, based on the information they got there, that in the first place, we don't even have paper. We don't have document. We are encroaching to the land. So we were summoned. We appeared before 5-man ad hoc committee, and we presented all our papers. In fact, they were surprised because it was contrary to the information they got. So they now came down. They marked all the houses, especially the one at the back of the gorge, asking them to relocate. But I don't know what happened to the government. Nothing happened until the one of last year happened again. And they started marking the house there. We were looking from the up. So one of the officials said they are still coming up to come and mark. For what? We went to the commissioner for physical planning. Now when this thing happened 4 or 5 years ago, you invited us. And we presented our document. The man said we should present another document. So we presented another document and gave it to him. So when they look at the document, they discovered the document are genuine. But 4 years ago, they persuaded us to try and do embankment. Those houses who are so threatened did embankment. For example, I didn't do embankment. because you can see my house from far off. It's very, very far from the gorge. So when the one of last year happened, and they were calling for bring this, bring that, we packaged it as usual. We took it to Labska in Koshofe, and they asked us to go and deposit at Obakin Jobi. We took it there. They wrote another letter. They even see some of the houses there that they didn't respond to their request. My house was not sealed in fairness to them, but they wrote a letter that they asked me to do an embankment. I repeated the same thing. I come and look at my house. It's far from the gorge, and besides, to God be the glory, I was able to prevent people from excavating the land and build at the back. So my house is not threatening in any way, but they insisted. They wrote another letter. So I did an undertaking that they should give me up to March this year to start the embankment. What we want to do is this wall and another one up there with a pillar going as deep as 20 feet. Then a slab. That's what I'm doing there. Many people in this community thought, I want to build a house. I'm not building a house. By the time I finish, they will see what I'm doing. It's a slab I want to do. And concerning the gutter, I'm going to run a pipe. Unfortunately, the topography of this land differ from one house or the other. I'm so lucky, I was able to channel my water to the front of the house. But ordinarily speaking, I will not want the community to rely solely until water begin to, carry their houses or do whatever. Let them meet on their own, but I will talk to the people there. Let's see how we can collaborate and see how this water thing can be resolved.
While some of the residents have complied with the state government's directive to set up embankment and have also properly channeled their water to the river, a lot more need to see the light in the directive, which could save their property and put their neighbors at ease. For now, both parties may need to sit on a round table, iron out this area of conflict, and work out the answers to their questions. Whatever you give to your environment, it gives back to you in return. That's the position of environment experts. Exactly what Professor Timothy Nubi speaks on in this interview as the era of flooding returns. Join us.
While various communities in the country continue to suffer the effect of flooding, irrespective of location as the rains pour, environmental experts are also concerned about how people treat the environment, which appears to be biting back. A professor of estate management, University of Lagos, Nigeria, Timothy Nubi, is one of such who believes we may have all collectively impacted the environment negatively.
Let's go back to the urban plan, the master plan generally, that have allocated areas as green belts, water catchment areas. We can't build on our water catchment area and be praying for safety. No amount of prayer in churches and mosques can avert it. Between my two and Agric, Owutu, all of them, in the master plan of Lagos, 1980, supposed to be green area, water catchment area. We also have water catchment area in some places around Kotun and some selected places like that. They are floodplain. They are natural water bodies. A water floodplain. When it rains and the volume is high, this retains the water and releases it into the sea gradually. But when you build up the water catchment area and the water have to find its way within a short time after heavy rainfall, it will be disastrous. And that's what we're experiencing here and there. Not only to build drainage, we make sure we clean it. Go between this first gate and Owodoshoki. You see them come once or twice in a year. They will remove the sand and the sachet of pure water that fill the drainage. They put it on the side of the road I've never seen them carted them away. They find themselves their way back after 2 or 3 rains. And they say, which country do they do such? And they will say, flood will not destroy their properties. So let's finish the channels. Both the primary and the collector channels, the primary ones, the major ones, they are in different categories, depends on the size of the streets. Let's make sure we have those networks. And where people have built illegally, don't spare them, no matter whom they are.
Based on the NIMET prediction for 2020, extreme weather conditions should be expected, and therefore government and individuals should be proactive by putting in place measures that will guarantee ecological balance.
The rains have come and the people of Ekulobia are losing sleep as flash flood continues to wreak havoc in the community, washing away topsoil and creating gullies. Homesteads are threatened as well as farmlands, and the people of the community are calling on the state government for intervention.
Welcome to Ekulobia in Agwata local government area of Anambra State. On a normal day, life is beautiful for the people until the rain sets in and flash flood takes over, wreaking havoc on lives and property. If the people have kept quiet about this issue for a long time, they think that stance has done them more harm than good, and they have come united to address their plight and express their frustration.
The flood that are doing this here is from our neighboring town, Isofe, and it has been disturbing us and destroying our crops, as you can see. So let's go down.
Three communities of Nanka, Isofia and Iwoku are worst hit by the impact of the flash flood. The gullies eat deep into residential buildings and farmlands, as explained by some of the affected victims during a tour of the area, especially in Amudo village.
Wheelbarrow cannot enter this compound now. They have to raise the height of this wall so that the flood will not, even as at that, they are not safe. Because we will still find other ways to enter the place.
Not even the reinforcement done to the buildings could save the affected victims.
When this rain starts, my mind rise up. All my children, everybody stand up, look, crying. Nearby houses, it damage everything. Children sleep in the bedroom. You carry the student, put for window, on top of window because of the rain. Sometimes our food damage. Everything, the one cooked and uncooked one, everything damaged.
What we are seeing here is just a tip of the iceberg for what is happening in our community. Anytime it rains, you will see people standing on the road, even if it is midnight. Some of them will be crying, will be looking for shelter elsewhere. I think the last time it rained, there were 2 persons that slept at the mechanic workshop there because they have no place to go. So this is the extent of our problem and predicament here. We are complaining about flood, even in the midst of this pandemic. That is to tell you the extent of our problem. Globally, everybody is worried about the pandemic. But here, we are primarily concerned for us to, because if you don't have a place to stay, you are as well as being cut off by the pandemic. We have primary pandemic here. This is the flood menace that is causing a problem here.
Moving further into the village, the level of destruction speaks volumes of the magnitude and force with which water enters the area, as several families are seen sun-drying their property. Others have their fences pulled down completely.
You can see the length of the flood, this compound. All the whole properties in this particular building now is rendered useless. Everything is useless. Look at this wall now. You can see a wall here. It is the flood that pulled the wall.
It spoiled all my properties, even a bag of rice and the gare, indomie, all of them, they are spoiled. Even most of the property, books, all of them.
The member representing Agwata in the State House of Assembly says he has constructed a big drainage channel, but the problem still persists.
It has gone beyond what community can do on themselves. And it has gone beyond what I can do as honorable member to do as a project, because it demands serious attention. When you walk down, you see this cause serious erosion down to the end of the road. People living around this area, all these villages within this community are having adverse effects of this erosion menace, of this overflooding. Therefore, I am pleading, if the state government and federal government can come to our aid, it will help reduction of this overflooding, save lives and property of these poor village people.
Responding, the State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Obinwako, frowns on the attitude of people blocking flood channels with buildings, but promises to send his team for an on-the-spot assessment.
In the Executive Council, His Excellency has given a directive that all the road contractors in the states, henceforth, that all the drainages should be channeled and discharged into the stream. We have streams everywhere in Anambra State. So these things are being done, you know. But the problem is that our people always build on drain channels or where, you know, changing the natural flow of the water. And because of all these problems, the water starts going to where it's not supposed to go, entering people's houses. So this issue you're talking about in Ekulobia now, what I will do is that people will go to that area and ascertain, those essays will go to and ascertain what the problem is. Then if it's something that has to do with Ministry of Works, we'll pass on the message to them. But if it's something that the people living there have to take care of by themselves, or because of their neglect of not keeping the environment clean, the drainages clean, then they have to educate them and advise them to do that.
As Ekulobia awaits intervention from all quarters, they continue to build reinforcements and catchment pits that will lessen the force of water into their homes and business outlet, despite the continued onslaught by the erosion. Elsewhere, in Nkisi Aroli Obeleagu area of Onitsha, the environmental and infrastructural damage is monumental. However, the state government is already intervening here, building a major water channel to redirect the flood. The State Commissioner for Works, upon the visit of the governor to inspect the extent of work done, gives a progress report.
As we directed, they worked day and night. When you came last, they promised in the next 20 days. Your Excellency, but in 11 days by tomorrow, we are going to open this channel. And we want to thank you for the attention given to this. We equally want to thank the contractor that because of the importance, because of the care you have for the Anambra, that's why you gave this project the maximum, so you gave us the maximum support for this project, both financially and morally.
Governor Obiano acknowledges the anxiety of the people in the area in their quest to have their property secured, but he emphasizes that their safety is paramount.
Your challenges with flood will be gone forever. But that is the phase 1 of this job. The phase 2 is to fill the big gully there that can eat 111-story building. That big gully created there. You can eat 100-story buildings. That's the second phase. That will be done during the dry season. The third phase is to use the Swambugi to clear the Nkisi river. That will help water flow very easily to the River Niger. You know, so it's not a small job. And we are doing this because if anybody's house were to be here, you will not be sleeping well. Of course. And you all belong to Anambra, therefore, protection of life and property is my major concern as your governor. And that's what I'm doing here.
Anambra State, with hundreds of active erosion sites, is indeed in need of a rescue, which the state may find difficult to shoulder. Wherever help may come from, the people no doubt will be immensely grateful. But until that happens, they will continue to live their lives in fear and hope that this becomes a thing of the past.
You can always be part of Eyewitness Report by taking those shots and uploading same to our Eyewitness portal, which you can find in the Channels TV app, downloadable from the various app stores online. Launch and swipe to review the Eyewitness menu and follow instructions on how to upload your shots. It's quite simple and straightforward. Let's have a look at what you already posted for the week. The next photo shows two telcos mast allegedly on the verge of collapsing. Our eyewitness says residents and buildings in Garden Valley, Ogudu GRA, are badly affected and at a risk of getting their houses damaged. He wants LASIMRA and other relevant agencies to come to their rescue.
The scene you are seeing is a Noge Primary School, Olije Egbanke, Orawa local government of Edo State.
This next video shows the state of Inoge Primary School, Olige Ibanke, Edo State. What you see is the playing field that has been overtaken by weeds. Our eyewitness says the school has not got much attention since after the days of the late Professor Ambrose Ali. He wants the Edo State government to please reach out to them.
This is an area in Kurudu Baga, and a rain fell yesterday, and this place is not motorable again.
Next video shows the condition of the road in Baga, in Ikorodu area of Lagos. Our eyewitness says after the recent rainfall, it's been difficult for the people to ply the route to Ijede. He wants the Lagos State government to come to their rescue. Thanks for those shots. Do keep them coming. We can continue to share your concerns to the relevant authorities if you do that. Till next week, I'm Chris Alems, and I'll keep my eyes on you. Bye-bye.